Hey everybody, this is Robot here, vespa.everywhere, Scooterwest here in San Diego, your premier destination for all things Vespa. We run a large mail order operation along with our dealership here in San Diego. Have tons and tons of accessories if you're new to our Vespa channel. Again, if you like some of the videos I've done, subscribe to our channel right below on whatever your YouTube, whatever you're watching on, whether it's a TV, mobile phone, computer, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But today I'm going to go into adding an extra light bar to your top case. So we just put this top case on this Vespa 300 Super right here. The problem with the taillights on all the Vespas are pretty low. And the best way to add a little safety to the rear of your scooter is to add a higher mounted second lighting assembly. You know, one that will add not only a modulated brake light, but also an extra tail light and a turn signal. And I've checked out all the different brake light modules, all this stuff, and I've played with them all. And I found the light bars that are from AdMore Lighting are the best quality. Our part number on this light bar, I haven't even showed you the light bar yet, I'll keep that a surprise, is MI99. We also have it available with a smoke lens, is MI99-SM. The AdMore Lighting part number on the clear lens version of this small light bar is LED 5420-SMT-ST, and that's the latest and greatest they have to offer for the smaller light bars. So I'll show you what's included with their kit here. Includes a very nice instruction, a well-sealed light bar itself here, all the hardware to mount the light bar, and very easy to splice posi tap lighting or wiring taps right there. And I'll go over all the steps to install this. And in case you're wondering how the smoked version looks, there's the one with the smoke lens, and it looks quite nice with a black top case. And it's nearly as bright as the clear one. Of course, the clear light bar is going to be a lot brighter, but the smoke one works just as well. So the bracket included with the light bar is quite universal and can be used for different options for mounting. Say if you wanted an extra light bar below the tail light, you can mount this behind your license plate. I don't find that very useful. You're going to be better off having it up high, especially if you have a top case or a rear rack. You can mount it to the top case or rear rack. What's included with the kit is enough hardware to bolt this bracket to your rear rack. And I found you find a spot that's centered and closest to the rear, and you'll be able to install the 2 1/4-inch by 20 pitch fasteners and the nylock nuts to hold it down. Another option, say you're installing on just the rear rack, you can find these rubber lined clamps. There's ones with black rubber. I just happen to have these ones kicking around the shop. But ideally, you could install 2 of those rubber lined clamps, put the screws through the clamp, and it would be secured to your rack. And this works ideal for pretty much any rack. You know, I'm not going to go through the steps of doing it, but you get the idea. You know, this one, say if we don't have a top case, you could have it mounted up. If you're going to do a top case on this scooter and just don't want to drill holes into your thing, you can use a clamp like this, flip this bracket around, put the screws through, have it centered. Hope you get the idea. You know, there's a lot of you know, different options for mounting this light kit. It's pretty straightforward. The only thing is these rubber lined clamps. This isn't available. We don't have this through our web store yet. They are available at, you know, a lot of automotive parts stores. You'll find clamps just like this. For example, here's a much smaller top case found on a LX. It's very similar design to the top case found on the Primavera and Sprint. Again, 2 screws mounted, and the bar would be tucked right underneath the top case. Nice and clean installation. Believe it or not, I see a lot of people put lights on, and sometimes I just look at them. I think it's all well and great, you want to add lights, but they just do goofy stuff. And that, everything I want to do, I want everything to look really clean and like it was kind of designed to go with a scooter. And this light bar, if you do a clean installation where it's tucked underneath the top case, it's going to look quite sharp. I'm going to start by dry fitting this light bar. You can see the two slots there line up the holes on the side of the light bar, and you can kind of get an idea of where you want to put it. I'm going to go a little bit in just to give it that tucked appearance. And I'm going to hold that rod just in place and make sure I have it dead centered. The nice thing is these top cases have like a honeycomb structure underneath, and it's a good reference for where to drill the holes. You could kind of find the center and look under there. And I'm going to put 2 holes. One there, count, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 1 there. So you can see right in those honeycombs, I have it right there. And right there, I'm drilling, you could go with a little larger than a 1/4 inch, a little larger than 6mm hole, maybe 7mm, 8mm, you'd be fine. So that's ideally where you want to put the 2 holes to mount this. I'll drop the 2 included screws with the bracket kit, and you'll see the threads coming right through. And since it's a slot, you have plenty of opportunity to get it centered and perfectly lined up. And if you're wondering what you need to tighten these included screws, you need either 11mm wrench or a 7/16. Both work equally as good because they're nearly the same size. So get those both started. And now you could kind of eyeball the bracket to get it centered. It looks pretty good right there. So I'll go ahead and tighten down those 2 screws. All right. And one thing you notice that it pulls in the brackets ever so slightly when you tighten the screws, so you might need to spread those out. So the orientation that this light bar should go is with the label up and the wire coming down. When you're installing it in an application such as this, drop the 2 nylock nuts into each one of these wells. And I'm going to hold the light bar kind of upside down just to get the screw started. And again, you can kind of just dry fit this, leave it all loose at first. And there's 2 slots to mount, whatever application works best. Since I have the bolts in the way, that's why my my slots work the best right there. So hold that right up against your top case. You could aim this up or down. I would prefer to aim it right at the just slightly up. You figure cars are a little bit higher. The windshield and the line of sight for a car driver is going to be a little bit higher than where this top case is on your scooter. And again, you can get the tinted one. It kind of definitely will hide a lot better than this white one. But the white one's really, really bright. So, if you're going for visibility, the white one's the way to go. So there's plenty of length of wiring to install this light bar here. Undo the zip ties. And we're going to want to route this to the approximate location of your right turn signal. Not included with the kit is regular zip ties. You can pretty much get those anywhere. And however you want to do the wiring, I'll kind of show you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use the bracket to tie the wire a little high. And the other option is you can, I want to get this over to my right side because that's where we're going to do the wiring. So there's a little bit of room to get a zip tie on the bracket. You know, of course, every rack's going to be a little bit different, but just giving you an idea how to do a nice tidy job on the wiring. And if possible, I could even route the wiring underneath this lip right here. And it probably doesn't even need a zip tie up there. So it's kind of up towards the front of the bracket. And I'll do a zip tie around the rack, maybe right there. And next we're gonna route the wiring right into these vents back here. So I'm gonna lift my bucket. And if you're not familiar with this, you might even just remove this part. Much like if you watched the previous video, which was installing the top case, I had that little part removed. And I think I usually go right in that one, right there. And it will pop right out. On the other side. You can also put a zip tie right through the grills if you like. You know, it takes a little bit more effort to get the zip tie snaked around. To show you my little technique where you can kind of shape the zip tie, you know, get it to do what you want it to do. So, you know, I want to get a zip tie around. I'm kind of in the way of the camera, sorry. But I'll show you what I got. So see how I kind of fished it through? I fished the zip tie right through the grill by just bending the and there you go. Leave a little slack. We cut all the tails off the zip ties once we've completed the installation. So on this side, you got all this extra wire. And again, we're gonna wanna get it approximately to this location. And I'll show you how we could fish this easily through here. So prior to getting the wire routed, let's get this right skirt out of the way. So there's on a GTS 250 or 300 model, there's that single screw and there's a single nut. Start from the rear, pull that forward just like that. Get that out of the way, and ideally the wiring for the turn signals and your brake light that we want to tap into, right about here there's a clip, and I'm reaching up there. You wouldn't be able to see it with the camera, but I'm just pulling it all out of the way here. So there's a clip. I'm going to get the wire off the clip right now. And same with right there, there's a clip that holds a wire. And I just want to get it out of the way because that's where we're going to make the connections. As much as I like you could just push the wire through, it usually doesn't happen that easy. I'm just twisting this together. I got electrical tape handy because ideally you want to fish the wire behind the fuel tank and see if we can get this here. And I'm not having much luck on this, so I'll show you. Oh, no. There you go. So there's our wiring right there, and I'll show you the hole up at the top where I routed through. If you can't get it past the fuel tank, what you could do is take a coat hanger or something a little thinner, like a copper piece of wire, and tape it to the end of the wire, and it'll help you fish it past the fuel tank. So right there is where I had the wire dropping right through. And the cool thing is this kit, the wiring happens to be the exact length that you need. To make the job even easier, you can remove the right rear turn signal. Kind of gives you just a little bit more slack with the wiring. Look at that. That thing was loose, actually. That's good I checked it. Shouldn't have unplugged that easily. But it kind of just to slacken up all the wiring. So in this main harness, this is the wiring that powers the tail light, license light, brake light, left and right turn signals, and also has a ground wire. It has all the wires needed to make the connection for your light bar. I have a very sharp razor blade or a well-sharpened knife, and I want to just carefully cut the electrical tape. They just wrap this with electrical tape, and if you just carefully slice it, you'll be able to expose the wires. And again, we'll recover this with new electrical tape. So maybe expose 30, 40 millimeters of the wiring. You're going to have a couple different colors. You're going to have two blacks. They both have the same function. You're going to have a yellow with a black stripe. That's going to be your tail light. You have a pink wire, which is going to be your left turn signal. You have a white with a black stripe. That's your brake light. And then your white with a blue stripe is your right turn signal. They've been using those color codes for quite a long time on the Vespas and Piaggios, so if you're installing this light bar kit on any other models, it's pretty much going to be identical. So it shows the combinations of wires that need to be hooked up. So both the blue and red wires need to go to your tail light, and that's yellow with black. Your brake light wire is going to be the white with black, and that goes to the purple wire on the AdMore Light kit. Your right turn signal is going to be the white with blue stripe. That's going to go to your green wire. And the left turn signal is the pink. If I can write on this some messy writing there. And black goes to black. Nice and easy for the last one. And like I suggested, pretty much all the Vespa products are that way. We'll start with installing the taps, and I like to move from black up. It doesn't really matter what order. You start with the black, you unthread the gray little ferrule of these posi taps, and then you could thread this into the back into the wire, and you can see there's a small point that will pierce the insulation. One more added step that I like to take is putting a little bit of dielectric grease. At an auto parts store, you'll be able to find this in a small tube, and it prevents corrosion of the wiring and will assure a very long installation. So I just put a dab of that on there. Our next one, we're going to tap into the pink. Left turn signal. Pretty much a repeat. Small dab of that. And I'll just go through the rest of them, and you'll see them all connected, all 5 connections. All right, so all the wires that need to be tapped into have had the posi taps saddling the wire insulation. You just pull the insulation right off the pre-stripped wires, and we're going to go from the bottom up, so black to black. You open this little cavity up, and you push the wire in, and tighten it down. Give it a good tug to make sure it's secure, and we'll just go right up it. So yellow goes to the pink wire on the harness. Nice and quick. Pretty straightforward. Unthread it a few turns, and if you want to take an added measure, you could fill these wells completely with dielectric grease. Keep the corrosion down. Green. It's going to be our right turn signal that goes to the white with blue stripe. Unthread. Stick that in there. Tighten, give it a tug. And brake light wire is going to be purple. And the last one is a little more involved. You want to take both the blue and the red wire and go ahead and twist the conductors together so they both make a good positive connection. Unscrew this one. Other options, you can just pull it all the way out. I'll show you how it works. You don't necessarily need to do that, but push it through until the little filaments of the conductors go right through. And go ahead and tighten. Make sure both connections are secure in there. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall the turn signal lens. And I'm going to test it before I zip tie those wires. Make sure that's secure. Don't want that popping off. All right. So here's the moment of truth. Is it going to work? Let's turn the ignition on. Oh, there it is. So there's the running light. You can see it fills in much better than a regular tail light. I'm going to pull a brake. And you can see the first application of brake, it will do a pulsing, and then after I think about 10 seconds, it will time out. Let's check your left and right turn signal. Very visible. I mean, it's much, that gets people's attention a lot more than the, and check the left side. Looks like it's working fine. You can see it still pulses the brake as the turn signal is on too. And we've checked everything. All looks like it functions perfect. Also available from AdMore Lighting is a deluxe light bar. It's the same size as this. It has a center set of white LEDs and also a set of projecting LEDs that will illuminate a license plate. It has a couple more functions and it's fully programmable. I think it has an accelerometer, so if you're deaccelerating without acting on the brakes, it will modulate the extra brake light. It's pretty trick. Costs a little bit extra. All the similar form factor as the basic light bar that we offer, but that's also available, and we'll probably soon to have those available as well. Here's the tinted lens. On or off, you can see it's just a little bit darker, but looks much, much better, especially when contrasted against this black bike. So now that we've verified all functionality of our electrical connections, it's a good idea to insulate and secure this new wiring. I'm using a high quality 3M electrical tape. It's best to use a higher quality tape. It's going to hold up better to the heat and also sticks better, and it's a little more flexible. So the reason I had all these posi taps in line is so you could kind of nicely tape them all up. And sometimes it's best to even use a smaller roll of tape, you know, like a half-used roll of tape. But, you know, there's other ways to make these connections. If you really want to geek out on it, you can carefully cut every connection, make solder connections, and secure them, insulate them with heat shrink tubing. That works very well. And I'm just trying to get the last little bit up here. And so now that's all insulated, much like the factory wiring. There's going to be a clip right here. I'll go ahead and fold that over. Right underneath here is another clip. And I have those posi taps pretty much tucked up into the valley between the frame and the gas tank, all secure up there. You can go ahead and install the skirt. Start from the front, as I've suggested in many of my other videos. I've taken these bodyworks apart on these bikes. You know, when they're brand new, they're a little bit harder to get in sometimes. And then the 3 rubber. Get the single screw and the nut, get those. And last, I got all my zip ties clipped. There you go. Nice professional installation of the AdMore Lighting light bar kit on the brand new style Vespa Topcase. So I hope you found this video useful, whether you're installing this light bar on the Vespa with the new style Topcase or any other Piaggio or Vespa product, or maybe another motorcycle or scooter. AdMore Lighting, they make quite a few different lighting kits for various top cases and the highest quality bars that you could buy on the market. All weatherproof. See everybody next time. There's a robot here, Vespa Motorsport, Scooterwest.com here in San Diego. Follow us on Instagram, Vespa Motorsport, or follow me, robot Vespa. Subscribe to our channel, watch more cool videos like this. See everybody next time. Later.